y'all. It's Matt Cannon's Garage coming at you. Today we got a 2018 Jeep Cherokee. Not the Grand Cherokee, the little baby one. You take a look at it here. We're about to do the rear brakes on this vehicle. Take a look at these rotors here. The customer only brought us pads, but this rotor got some chewing in it on the driver's side. So let me take a quick look at the passenger side. Passenger side actually looks pretty good, but that driver's side's got some chewing in it. He only gave us pads.
So I guess we probably should call him.
We're gonna try to get this guy a call and see if he wants to do the rotor also. But that would suck because I told him when I talked to him, the rotor's probably gonna be another $100 per rotor just for the parts. So we're gonna try to give him a call and see what he wants to do.
Hey, not much. So we're down in the shop now looking at the car. So now your driver's side, you need a rotor. That brake here, it chewed into the rotor.
In the back?
Yep, in the back. I want to say your rotor. I think the rotor for your car about $100. I want to say.
You can check that phone because you get the mechanic thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, this get back to me.
Okay. I think.
How much? How much would that cost with that and the labor?
Okay. All right. I'll call. I'll check on the rotor, but I'm pretty sure. I want to say that rotor for this car in the rear is about $100.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll give a call now and then I'll give you a call back. I mean, so if it is 100, do you just want to go ahead you just want us to go ahead and get it and do it? I mean, because I
gotta have the vehicle. I just gotta get the money.
And you don't want us to put. We don't want to put. I mean, you don't want us to put pads on there because the rotor ain't gonna do nothing but just chew the pads up, and then you're gonna be back to square one.
Right. I understand.
So I'll call see if they got the rotor.
Yeah, they call that a
we'll
pad slap.
Grab it.
You don't want to do pad slaps on people's cars.
Okay.
That's not good for them.
All right, bro.
All right, guys. So you never want to do fresh pads on a rotor that's already chewed up because the rotor is going to chew into the new pads. As you can see here, that right there, and I can feel it with my fingertip. My fingernail, there's grooves in there. Don't want to do that. So we always suggest just go ahead and replace it. But you do have those instances where people are like, I don't have the cash. You just go ahead and put the rotor, just put the brakes on, and then you do that, against our better, our guidance, telling you like, hey, don't do that, but they still just say go ahead and do it anyway. And then it puts you in a position to where you back to square one. Those brakes get chewed up quick, and now you're replacing pads and a rotor and possibly a caliper.
Yeah, that's gonna cause uneven wear on those pads.
So
I would say if you're gonna trade the car in, a lot of people do that just to get rid of them. But yeah, I don't suggest you do that. So we're gonna check on the price and get back with you. All right, guys, so this vehicle has electronic parking brakes on the rear. And before you do the brake service, you're gonna have to disengage that. So we're gonna walk you through that process. So this is a 2018 Jeep Cherokee Latitude. So get your key, put your key in the ignition and just turn your key forward into the start position, but do not start the vehicle. Once your screen comes up, you want to go into your settings menu and you want to scroll down or look around until you see something that says brakes. And then you want to look for a brake service mode. And this is what the screen would tell you. So it's going to ask you if you would like to retract your parking brakes. So before we do that, let me go ahead and grab the camera so we can see if this thing retracts once he hits that button. All right, go ahead.
So, would you like to retract the brakes? Yes. Service mode not available. Release parking brake.
So let's see if the customer put the parking brake on the vehicle when they stopped it. So it looks like the parking brake is on. So try holding it down, because usually pulling up will engage it. Release parking brake.
So, gotta put a foot on there.
There we go.
Okay. Now.
There we go. As you hear it now it's releasing the parking brake. So this vehicle, you actually had to put your foot on the brake first, then hit the button to disengage the electronic parking brake. And now when we hit the brake service mode, you heard it was twirling back. And what it was doing, it was rotating back on the piston inside that parking brake to disengage those brakes. So now we can go ahead. What's that say on the screen there?
All right, so now it says to activate your brakes or to reset them, you have to press the brake pedal to activate the park brake switch.
Okay.
So that's it.
All right, so now we can go ahead and hit the X and turn our key off. And now it's just like a normal brake service. So we're gonna go through that and go through those steps. All right, guys, you can see we've removed the caliper and slid it to the side. It's got some interesting features of how this thing is held on here. So the bottom caliper bolt, 10 millimeter, looks typical, that right there. The top one is a little different. It's built like this. So it's got a 10 millimeter nut on this side that holds this bracket. Finger at holds this bracket on, goes over that. Then once you slide that out the way, this bottom nut that's part of this bolt is 10 millimeters also. And once you remove that, that'll allow you to pull the whole caliper off. So now we're going to take this caliper and just zip tie it up here to the spring to kind of get it out the way. We try not to crimp your lines. As you can see, they're kind of short. And then we're going to go ahead and remove this bracket, because on this side of the car, like we said earlier, you gotta take this rotor off. All right, guys, we are back with a brand new rotor. So one thing, if you're gonna work on one of these cars, make sure you know what size rotor you got, because there's two different ones for this vehicle. Our rotor ended up being I think it was a 278 millimeter rotor, which is basically the equivalent of almost like 11 inches. And you're also gonna need a special tool to remove your caliper bracket. We need one of these torque sockets. This one we're using here, what do we got here? This is what, a T50?
I think it's a T50.
Ours, we got T55 right here.
T55.
Yep. So with that T55, you can pull off the two fun bolts you got here. Here's an example of what they look like. These two hold the back of that caliper bracket on. Fun, fun, fun. Thank you, Chrysler, Fiat, or whoever the heck owns you for doing that.
Yeah.
So, got our old rotor off, so before you put your new one on, make sure you clean up your surface. You could even put a little bit of rust repellent on there after you get done, and then put your new rotor on, and reverse your process and put everything back together. All right, guys, we got it all back together now. We got the new rotor on, got the new pads on, got our new hardware. We put a little ceramic lube on the end of the pads and inside this hardware, so they'll slide back in real easy. Now we just got to go through here and put a little fluid in, bleed our brakes, put our wheels back on, give it a little test ride, and we'll be done. All right, guys, now that we got everything wrapped up, don't forget to go back and re-engage your parking brake. So like we did before, we go in, turn your key to the second position and go into your settings menu. I think you have to engage the parking brake around there. Let's pull it up. As you can hear, parking brake re-engaging. It's gonna go hit down the arrow on there.
So, guess that's letting us know that you're all set to go.
All right, cool beans. That's it, guys. This is a fun one. Trust me when I say I never wanted to do one of these again. Ever want one of these Jeeps. But we're all set. So for more tips and tricks, follow us at the Mechanics Garage. Like and subscribe here on YouTube. Tell all your friends about us. If you got any questions or comments, comment on the video. Thank you. Peace.